welcome to Best Laid Plans. This is your host, Sarah Hart-Unger, and this is a podcast where we talk all things planning and planning adjacent. If I sound a little bit different, or if you are watching this on video, well, there you go. That is what makes this episode a little bit different from my typical episodes. I have done a couple of YouTube videos in the past where I've shown my planner stack, but I have always done those separate from my recording of my episodes. The reason for that is that I think the sound quality in the main part of my house isn't quite as good as the sound quality in my closet. But my closet really does not make for a very nice backdrop, and it has terrible lighting. So I decided for today, we're going to maybe let the sound quality be a little bit less than optimum, but hopefully still pretty good. And I'm going to do a video version of this episode by trying out one of the apps that allows you to record both. So here we go. I'm going to be sharing my planner stack from last year, or really from this year. I'm recording this and it's going to air in early December. And I have my planner stack that I've been using for the back half of 2025. And then I also have the tools and the physical tools specifically that I plan on using in 2026. So you can compare what I ended up with for 2025 to the stack that I showed in my YouTube video for last year if you'd like. Definitely some changes. I went through a pretty tumultuous period in the spring. You guys have heard about kind of the health stuff I went through at that time. And honestly, I needed a fresh start, which does sometimes happen. And so I ended up shifting my tools a little bit. But I think what I ended up with really worked quite well for me. I ended up sticking with the same tools for the back half of the year. And that's what I'm using right now. So without further ado, here we go. Let's share some planning stacks. Okay. So my main planner, the one that I use every single day in the morning, is a Hobonichi cousin, Avec. The cover that I'm showing here is from 2018. This is not the planner that I started with. Listeners might remember that I started with a Hobonichi that had a built-in cover from the Hone series. It was very pretty. It was Liberty printed, and it had all kinds of plans in there that ended up not being able to come to fruition because of everything that went on in March. So I decided I deserved to start fresh, and I ended up with a cousin, which is in 2 volumes. I did not purchase a new cover because I collect my Hobonichi covers. Honestly, I don't collect much. I do get rid of most of my planners at the end of the year. I know sacrilege for some people, but for me, this works. However, I do collect Hobonichi covers. So I went into my archives and I found this cover from 2018. It's the Mina Perhonen bird cover. I just looked up the name of it and I really, really enjoyed using it the first time around and have really enjoyed breathing some second life into it. So yeah, this is what I've been using cover-wise. And if we open it up, you can kind of see how I have very much used this baby week after week being filled out, and then day after day after day with my usual layouts. I even went from I made some changes. I started out where I used my usual Jetstream pens, which are ballpoint, and they work very well with Hobonichi paper. But one day I was like, I wonder if, as long as I cover up the area where I'm writing, could I get away with trying some gel pens in here? And I guess I did that in, September. And I haven't looked back. I really love using gel pens in here. And I think that's going to be the way I do things going forward. So this has just been my cousin Avec. I have my monthly goals in here. I keep track of my weekly tasks. It's my main calendar, my master calendar, my most reliable source of truth in this book. And I'm going to miss it, but you'll hear about what I'm going to be using for next year. In addition, part of my 2025 planner stack is this little planner. This is an 18-month planner made from, it's not Tomoe River paper, but I think they call it like Japanese style or something like that, from Erin Condren. And I always end up needing to purchase some kind of longer term kind of transitional planner midway through a given year because these guys are only 6 months long and I didn't have the January through July one for 2026 until, November of this year because it took so long to come. Yet dates were already starting to pop up, and since I don't really plan digitally, I needed a paper place to park those things. Even things like my call week, our call schedules get released around July or August, and so by that point, I already kind of know what's happening in, let's say, October or December work-wise, and I need a place to capture it so I can plan around it. And so that's where this little baby came into play. Just kind of has a lot of my long-range planning dates. And I also like to really ceremoniously sit down and fill out my new planner for the year. And this gives me a really nice placeholder. Like January is already looking pretty full. I got my best laid plans at home sessions on there. I have my hair appointment. I got my February call week, which I can see, all things that I need to track. And this is just being a great place. Furthermore, it's very small. So I actually just kind of tuck it in the back of this Hobonichi. And there you go. This works really, really well. Very functional. Another book I've been using this year is this Moleskine notebook. I love their Cherry Blossom series of notebooks. They have a lot of really beautiful covers, and I've just enjoyed them over the years. And I read the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Well, actually, I wouldn't say I read it. I'm most of the way through it, which talks about the practice of morning pages, and just decided I would try it out. And so I needed a notebook for that, obviously, as one does. You're not going to be able to read what I have written in here, which is good because it's personal, but you can kind of see that I made great use of a lot of pages in here already. I've used different colored pens. I've been doing it off and on for about a month now, I guess. Let's see when my first entry was. November 1st. Okay, so by the time this airs, almost about a month. I have missed a couple days, but it's filling up fairly quickly because you use 3 pages a day for your morning pages, like not 3 full leaves, but like a full page spread plus one other. And it's been really fun. So I don't know exactly what I'll be using to replace this. That's actually the missing link in my planner stack. And I have an idea. Maybe that'll be a whole separate video. So we can talk about that going forward. But this little notebook is A5 size by Moleskine, and it's been really useful to me in the last month or so. Next, we have something I sort of feel slightly bad sharing because it is my planning by season workbook. And right now, it's not something that you can purchase. It's not like I'm selling them. I kind of have in my dreamscape of 2026 to figure out the right way to disseminate what's in this planner because I think this planner is awesome. I don't feel like there is on the market anything really like it. I think the closest thing would maybe be Power Sheets, but it's different. The content is different. The vibe is different. It's a little bit more specific and directed. And there's a lot of like very original content for each season. Like the pages that are in the summer section are different than the pages like in the spring section, etc. There's like a holiday planning guide built into there. I ended up printing my own planning by season workbook in A5 size and ordering it from a company called Doxu. That's the one I used in 2024 when I was planning for 2025. I'll get to what I used for this upcoming year. But this baby's been well used. I tend to use it to do my seasonal planning draft. So I don't necessarily come up with my final seasonal list in here, but I do all the like thinking and the wheels turning. And I'll admit that like at least once I've watched my own planning videos to help guide me through, because sometimes you just want someone like spoon feeding you, So I don't know. It worked really well for me. And I do plan on using something similar next year, which I'll be showing you. And hey, maybe I'll be sitting here at the end of 2026 telling you how you can get your seasonal planning best laid plans workbook. Or maybe it'll take longer than that. I don't know, but just putting it out there. All right, we have one more, then we're going to take a break and get to 2026. And that is my 5-year journal. You guys, this has been on my planning list for many years now, since I started it in 2021, which means this is the 5th year I have used it. Have I filled out every single page? Whoa, so there's stuff tucked in there, which is really fun. Have I filled out every single day? No, I have not. There's definitely some blanks, but certainly way more pages are filled out than not. I have taped in stickers. I have done all kinds of fun stuff with this, and I will treasure this. Even though I don't plan on keeping long-term my planners that I use, I am absolutely going to keep this baby. I mean, it's got the years that my kids were 5 years ago. So my oldest is now 13 and a half. She was 8 and a half when this thing started. It like blows my mind. And I had a 2-year-old, and we were just coming off of COVID. And now I've got a teenager, and life is so different. And I'm just treasure this book forever. So very excited. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to get to the planners I intend to use for 2026. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Organize 365. As we approach the close of another year, I want to take a moment to honor you, the leader of your household, the cornerstone of your family, the multitasker, the caregiver, the friend, the professional, and the dreamer. You wear countless hats, and with every role you carry an invisible load. These tasks, decisions, and emotional labor sometimes even go by unseen by you, but they are never unfelt. This is the work that powers our lives. It's the unseen effort that keeps everything running, often at the cost of our own peace of mind or goals. But what if this invisible work didn't have to stay invisible? What if you could bring it to light, streamline it, and reclaim the energy it takes? The Sunday Basket is a natural partner for your weekly planning routine. The Sunday Basket contains and corrals all your ideas, paper notes, to-do lists, and mail safely until you are ready for your weekly planning time. Let this be the year you free your mind, lighten your load, and make your goals a reality. Together, let's make the invisible work visible. Visit organize365.com/SundayBasket to buy the Sunday Basket today. That's organize365.com/SundayBasket. Today's episode is brought to you with support from Mint Mobile. Both Mint Mobile and I want you to know that you don't have to let big wireless and your overpriced phone bill suck the joy out of the holidays this year. Because right now, all of Mint Mobile's unlimited plans are 50% off. You can get 3, 6, or 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for $15 per month. It's their best deal of the year, so really a fantastic time to check it out. All of Mint Mobile's plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network, so you can keep your same number. And there are no contracts, so it can be a no-obligation experiment if you'd like it to be. Turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/BLP. That's mintmobile.com/BLP. Limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. More than 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. Today's episode is brought to you with support from Green Chef. One of my favorite things about this reflection and celebration season is the food. That makes it a fantastic time to try Green Chef. Not only because their meals are packed with warm and homey flavors, but because they're a convenient and healthy way to keep things balanced between events and festive weekends. Green Chef meals are made with real, clean ingredients, and they help you build lasting healthy habits without the hassle. In addition to delicious dinners, they also have salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein-filled breakfasts, and nutrient-rich smoothies to fuel your day. The recipe options change every week, and with week-to-week flexibility, you can adjust your plan to match your mood and your schedule. They really are family-friendly too. My kids are always so excited for our Green Chef dinners. Make this season your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50bestlaid and use the code 50bestlaid to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50bestlaid at greenchef.com/50bestlaid. All right, planners for 2026. We'll start with my main squeeze, which is going to be yet another Hobonichi cousin, Avec. I really love this planner. I love the layout. I love how open-ended it is. I love how the weekly pages are. I cannot quit this planner, and I'm probably going to use it for the foreseeable future, even though I love seeing what else is out there. This year, I got this cover, which is, the actual name of it is not in my mind right now, but the artist is Kyohei Sakaguchi, and it's got a beautiful picture of clouds and then wheat. And yeah, I was just really attracted to it. I think I just love sky imagery. It makes me happy and I like it. So I have the cousin tucked into there, but I also have another notebook that I decided to order from Hobonichi to stick in there, kind of as an experiment for this year. I often end up with wanting to have some accessory lists, and I'll kind of swap from book to book throughout the year. But I thought it might be fun to experiment with having something stable. We'll see if that lasts. I don't 100% know if it will, to be completely honest, but yeah, I think of this as a little collections book. It's mostly blank pages. There are month spreads in here. For the month spreads, I was going to do my reading tracker, which I have done in the past, where I kind of, in each square, I'll put the number of pages read and a little color that responds to each book. And I even have grand plans of using my sticker printer to make little tiny images of the book. So stay tuned. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But yeah, I think this will be a nice companion. Time will tell if I get annoyed writing with both books in here. I don't think it will be bad, but if it is, I could always just take this one out and then just kind of use it as a separate notebook. I'm not super precious with my stuff. If it gets beat up over the course of the year, so be it. I'm buying it to use it. So yeah, we'll see if if I end up using it in or out, or if I end up abandoning it, but I'm pretty confident that I will stick to the cousin piece at least. And again, love this cover. The second book that I am using for 2026 is this beautiful Ashley Shelley planner collab with Amanda's Favorites, who is a YouTuber, does tons of amazing planner reviews. She's actually been on this podcast before. And shout out to Amanda. Whenever I really want to get to the guts of a planner and see like what the paper looks like and all the details, I check out Amanda's videos. And she's done this collaboration every year. This is the first time I ordered the bigger size of her planner. This is not going to really fit inside of this cover. I mean, it almost does, but it would kind of stick out maybe a little bit. Yeah, I don't think it would fit. It's close. So anyway, but I plan on using this one for my work calendar. So I've talked about my process, and I can actually show you, since we're on video here, of planning the month, which I only really started doing this year, figuring out exactly how many work days I have, clinical work days, how many like podcast recording days I have. Here's an example of like September. You can see that I had like a big call week in there. So I had tons of clinical time, and then I could color code and figure out what days I actually have to do creative work. This helps me keep my goals in check. If I see that I only have 4 days to do creative work in a given month, I cannot put 12 projects on that month. It's not going to fit into 4 work days. And I don't really want to spend my evenings after I've been seeing patients all day doing creative work, as much as I love it. I don't mind doing some weekend time. Honestly, that often fills in the gaps, but I have to be conservative when I have a month that is really, really filled up by clinical work. And so this has been just a really good practice for me, but I don't love doing it in my main planner, because when I'm flipping back and between like task lists and I'm just like trying to think about my goals, I actually want to be able to look at my planner while I'm creating that instead of having to flip the page back and forth. And so that's why I've decided that for next year, I'm going to do that work planning stuff in this book, which also conveniently has a blank page between each. So I can like put details of any work-related projects that I want to do. When I say work, I'm largely referring to my creative work, my writing, my podcasting, etc. My clinical work, I mean, really, that is pretty much all digital. We use Epic where I work, the electronic health record. So I don't have a specific planning tool that I use for that, but for the rest of my work and kind of to see the architecture of my month and exactly what the ratio of clinical days are to days off to work days are, this planner I think is going to be perfect. The next thing we have on my list is, ta-da, another 5-year journal. Yes, very excited. Woo. This one will take me from 2026 to 2030. Kind of crazy. I'll be hitting a milestone birthday in 2030. That's like hard to fathom. When I think of how, again, my daughter is going to be graduating from high school and entering college in the last year of this planner. So when I think about the things that are going to go in this planner, I mean, it's like the golden years of life. Actually, I feel like both of these are. I always wanted my kids to be like school age and teenagers. And I have to say, these past 5 years did not disappoint. I don't think these years will either. So super, super excited to capture some of that in the next 5-year journal. And of course, that's from Hobonichi as well. Then we have just a couple more. We have my seasonal planning book for next year, which I definitely think, I mean, this is I'm very biased, but I think I really improved it. It has, unlike the prior version, an actual cover for the whole year and a whole annual planning reference section that did not exist before. So when I would lead course participants through planning each season, I'd be like, all right, get out your annual goals. And they'd be like, they're in my notes, they're in this planner. Now everything can exist in the same little book. So I'm so excited about that. I've done some upgrades, some changes, and I printed this out in A5 size once again. Actually, I don't think this is quite A5. I think it is. Just kidding. It's the same size as the last one. I just feel like somehow the printing aspect. So for that one, I guess they put space along the bottom so that it didn't get stretched. This one got stretched a little bit. It doesn't bother me. Might bother someone. Would bother me if it were a professional product going out to the masses. So someday when I make this into an actual thing, then I know the aspect ratio will be perfect, whatever size it's printed in. But I'm just so excited to use this little booklet. I think it will be great and serve me well. Then we have another kind of me product. You could use really a blank notebook. You could use anything, but I tend to get my yearly planning started at Best Laid Plans Live, which I lead with Laura. And then I have an equivalent workbook for Best Laid Plans at Home. Actually, as this airs, there is still availability in Best Laid Plans at Home. So if you want a guided workbook and a guided experience to plan your 2026, that is still, as of now, available. This is where I do all of the drafting of lots and lots of plans. Oh, actually, I realized I picked up my one from last year. My one from this year. One moment. Is here. So we remake it every year. So actually, this is the one. This really belonged in the prior planner stack. And this is the one that I already started filling out for next year. So much brainstorming, so much drafting goes in there. And then the final stuff goes into like my actual system, into Apple Notes and into my planners. But I really need this. And I'm not done with my own annual planning. So I will be completing the rest of this. And then finally, I have one more item. You guys, I cannot stop buying a Hobonichi Weeks. It's kind of dumb. I mean, I almost never end up using it for the entire year. And I always want to. It is such a well-engineered product. It's so cute. And this one was so pretty. Also, side note, hello, this was a coincidence. I don't know why my annual planning guide matches the Hobonichi Weeks by this amazing artist. This was done by my designer. I did not do that by myself, but kind of crazy how well those match up. Maybe it's a sign that I'm actually going to use this planner throughout the year. I just thought this would be a really fun place to record gratitude and maybe fun. And it's so small and it's creative or it sparks creativity maybe. And I think I'm going to play with this. It might just end up being my fountain pen workshop toy. So that's good too, because I have fountain pens on their way to me right now as we speak, as I'm recording this episode. They might even come today, honestly. And the paper in the Hobonichi products is fountain pen friendly. So maybe this will just be my fountain pen playground. We will see. All right, well, that has been it. That's our video. That is our planner stack for 2026. Let's stack it up and see how it actually is. And I'm sorry for anyone listening to this on audio. You can see the video. It will be on my YouTube channel. But let's see. We've got this. We've got this one. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. All right. That's it. Oh, plus this. Planner stack 2026. Will they all survive the year? I don't know. But I mean, honestly, that's not too crazy. I can hold it in my hand. I can put it in a bag. I will absolutely report back. And if you're listening to this, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful month of December. Gotta love it when a month starts on the first of the month. And give me feedback on the video. What should I do differently? And did you like the video? Should I do more? Is the sound a lot different? Please let me know. I guess I also am obligated to tell you that my book is coming out in 2 weeks and it's still available for pre-order as this airs. You can find information at theshoebox.com/pre-orders. And I have some really cool bonuses, including a PDF checklist of a lot of the methods detailed in the book, as well as an invite to a webinar. So if you're interested in those, please pre-order Best Laid Plans, a simple system for living a life that you love, available where books are sold, and check out those bonuses. All right, I'm signing off. I hope you have a wonderful week.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.